we heard it, you heard what Hasso had to say. A lot of stuff, he covers a lot of ground. What was your big takeaway that you would share with fellow members?
Well, I think that the good news is there was some news, but there wasn't a lot new. Mm-hmm. It continues to build on a theme that started a few years ago, which was the suite, HANA, speed, analytics, predictive analytics, and I think the good news is they're delivering on that vision. Mm-hmm. The thing that I like that Hasso had an underscore in, but I think it captures the whole conference, is a couple things. Number one, SAP is talking again about integration. Over the last couple of years, they've made a lot of acquisitions to really optimize their supply chain, their delivery of solutions and services. And what they really said is, we understand we've got all these assets, it's up to us to integrate it and create the integrated enterprise again. That has always been in the DNA and the strength of SAP, and I'm glad to hear they acknowledge it. The other thing I thought was really good is, a couple of years ago we heard cloud, cloud, cloud. Cloud is still a major portion of their vision and foundation. But they said they recognize a huge install base that has a lot of on-premise assets, and they basically gave you the Burger King line. You can kind of have it your way. Mm-hmm. And I think that goes a long way in reaching our members, and I think it was a result of a lot of feedback we've provided over the last couple of years. So I'm very happy about that.
You are very, very active in portals and the UX Council. What is that like from a customer perspective to be a part of these?
Yes, I have been leading the Portal Influence Council together with David Arfa from PepsiCo for a number of years now. It has been a journey because that gives us a number of different perspectives from over the time period of how we have been able to influence SAP and seeing this actually evolve into real products. Mm-hmm. In addition, last year I became a volunteer at ASUG, a formal volunteer to market leader under the UX umbrella of the user experience SIG. And that focuses on a much broader set of topics, including design thinking, including processes and strategy, not just the UI technologies that I have been focusing on before. In addition to this, we participate in a number of customer engagement initiatives. So last year we did design thinking workshop in Palo Alto, looking at the web IDE preview before it went GA. Mm-hmm. After that, we looked at cloud extensions to the Fiori Launchpad on the portal. And now we're talking about Fiori notifications as one of those topics that are hot for other customers. Mm-hmm. So in general, being part of ASUG allows us to bring in different customers together to exchange experiences, lessons learned, to discuss what are the business priorities across the customers, and then be able to influence SAP specifically for those type of activities. One last thing to add was that ASUG has been very helpful. It's like having a virtual assistant who will do logistics for you, who will help you with reaching out to the customers and finding the right SAP resource to connect with based on what different customers need.
Since the launch in February of S4HANA, how's been the reaction to the community, and do you think it's changed over the last 3, 4, 5 months?
Yeah, I really think so. When SAP adopted a strategy around HANA, it was a very technology-driven approach and technology pitch. And that was nice, that was incredible, the amount of data you can process, the speed of the solution, but it's difficult to build a business case around that. And people were saying that's incredible, but not necessarily for me, so customers were really waiting to see. But now, when you get some concrete results of what that can bring to the ERP, and I honestly believe the biggest transformation HANA will bring is to the business suite itself, that's what we're seeing now with S4HANA. And customers now can relate and see, now I understand running on a platform like that, my application can look much different. These innovations coming with finance are appealing and have a business value around that. So I see the perception changing, and customers are really starting to say, no, now I'm getting the message, and the discussion is switching towards how do I get there.
Tell us about this partnership. What are the core elements that I think all ASUG members need to know about this?
So the core element is really to build up an elite program where we are educating students from the historical black colleges in the latest, greatest SAP's technologies and frameworks. So we go from student learning about S4HANA, big data, Lumira, design thinking, really skilling them up with that dedicated skill set, specific skill set that we all need right now, really to build the new ecosystem. So for all the ASUG members, right now they're all looking for new bright talents.
Sure.
And this is what this program is about. It's about educating the students so we know that they have the skills that what is required right now for customers to use the latest, greatest technology from SAP. And this is what this program is about. So we have put together a dedicated package that together with Delaware State University that we are rolling out to all the universities in the network.
What are some of the creative ways? What are top couple ways that you guys got them to let's engage this community?
Yeah, so in engaging our community, the biggest thing that we found was that there wasn't a centralized online resource for help or information. So what we wanted to do was develop an SAP support intranet site for city employees to log in and access information about the SAP system, whether it was our online training videos that we've developed, whether it was our training portal that allows them to now log in and register for monthly and sometimes even weekly trainings that we have. Those are two components on our website that we did want to put forward. And also as part of the whole training initiative, in addition to launching a scheduled set of classes for training, we've developed a hands-on workshop which allows actual employees to come into an environment where they have live production system access and working with an SAP expert or working with a business process expert, going through their normal day-to-day operations and just going through those questions and issues that they might have in a real live workshop setting.
And that's, I'm sure the response has probably been pretty good to that?
Very good to that, yeah. On our website, we actually allow the end users to submit requests for different types of topics or issues that they might want to have a particular workshop for, and we've gotten some pretty good response from that.
Why should customers care about what the CTO does?
Well, that's actually an interesting question. I've not gotten that one before. Simply, part of my job is to make sure that we are aligning our technical bets and strategies so that the products evolve in the right direction. So ultimately, as I'm involved in setting these directions, I'm doing it on behalf of our customers, right? I'm not just running a research lab, right? That's not the purpose of my job. The purpose of my job is to make sure that we're building the right products for the future. So that product strategy and technical strategy behind that.
Right.
And so one of the things I enjoy the most about my job is just being able to spend time with customers and hearing directly from them where they are, where their businesses are going so that we can make the right investments technology-wise.
What are the general lessons learned from this project that you think could be applied to any type of SAP project?
Just definitely be very prepared, especially in a process like that.
Awesome.
When you're running through it pretty quickly, and and a couple other things. Just you got to do your due diligence up front. Make sure you've got a lot of integrations nowadays. A lot of add-ons. Are they all going to work?
So you've really seen the engagement grow within your company since you've really taken on the champion role.
Absolutely. There might be other individuals looking for information. They are ASUG members, but they might not aware that what information you can get, how you can leverage ASUG. So I became a volunteer. And I had a couple of experiences when I started talking about outside work, ASUG, and I would like to share that. So one person I was meeting, I said, that's maybe a couple of months back. So I said, there is a ASUG local chapter meeting here. So are you coming to ASUG local chapter meeting? He said, Anurag, we don't have a budget. I said, but are you a member of ASUG? Of course, yes. I said, then you don't need any money to attend ASUG meeting. He said, is it? But somebody told every meeting you go, you need to pay something, but we don't have any budget. I said, this is a misconception, my friend. You just go register yourself and go there. Next day he called me, man, I didn't even know that, and I missed 2 or 3 years. So this is the awareness. There are a lot of individuals, they don't even know how it works.
What's maybe one or two lessons that you could pass on to another customer who might be thinking of using predictive analytics in their call center?
Well, I would say having a real partnership between your IT solutions organization and your business organization so that you really approach this as a collaborative type of effort, that you get the right folks on the team. You want people who are excited and open-minded to do things a little differently, who are going to challenge each other to be innovative and really to use all of the metrics you have at your disposal to decide where you want to make those customization investments or those high value technology type investments. What should you focus on to get the biggest payback for that effort?
Any closing thoughts from either of you on the show and how it went?
it's a work in progress. It's a journey. It's not a destination yet, and it's exciting for guys like us because it's full employment for a while. We got a lot of work to do. But I think seriously, there's some good value. I think Hasso's put some numbers on the table which were interesting, and more to come.
Cool. Yeah, I think it's exciting for SAP rebuilding again, right? Once more, first time discounted by design situation. I think it's an interesting thing. Customers should look at the value they get from SAP and what pathways they will have as they change using the wheel analogy on the car, right? Which wheel is going to go first? Which tire is going to be put on? How can I move there?
Sharon, you have a history on both sides of HR, IT and business.
Exactly.
And you're working with customers right now. What do you see that they're doing to improve or not do well on employee loyalty?
We're actually seeing it being a great concern in a lot of companies. I mean, even smaller organizations that might not have the resources to put together so many plans are finding creative ways, doing job shadowing, giving examples of training that's maybe more specific to grow an individual directly in a career path. And I think a lot of the work around just better defining roles in an organization and letting that information be more transparent in an organization so an employee can actually see that focus in an organization is helping significantly. Those organizations where I'm not seeing that happen so much does tend to make some folks a little less committed to the organization and just not feeling quite the same part of that organization, where they might start looking elsewhere or perhaps really just not even feeling quite that motivated in the organization.
What's your experience with the value of your ASUG membership?
Well, Ashley really touched on it. It really comes down to the education, networking, and influence. And all of those have been very powerful messages and very powerful drivers and motivators for us as an organization. We've been able to leverage throughout our ASUG membership the benefits of education. We have never participated in an ASUG event, whether it's the annual conference or one of the many throughout the year education opportunities, and not gotten value from that experience.